Hello, welcome back. We're gonna try to finish up this time for real. All right, had to break it off early last time. Working in the school, all that bells go off. You're not watching the time, so I'm back. We're gonna finish this off before the end of the day here. So let's pick this up right where I left off. All right, share this screen. This is where I left off. If you remember, we're able to get our code to run, get two dialog boxes that pop up here. And here we go. And we're able to append success and no. Oh, looks like we have 3 users on now. Fancy. Wonder who they are. Okay. What we're going to do is we have this anchor tag here. I'm going to start off with the user because the user, I wanted that to highlight and go to the user's actual page. Now, because I'm doing this a slightly more difficult way, remember, I used a slice method here to get data 2. Okay, data 2 was what comes out of this function here. And this function, again, we're using data 1, data I for it, right? Data I comes directly out of this var I. So wherever we are in the current iteration of our array, all right, we're just going to go right in, and then we're only using this to filter out the users that get an error. And we have an alert, error not found, and we're going to change this when we're done. But what we need is the streams itself. So I'm just going to grab the streams themselves and use the streams method here that they give us in the API. Okay. So what do we have to do? Well, we have to change this href here to the actual address of the stream itself. So we're going to have to concatenate a string. So let's just say that this was something like freeCodeCamp. freeCodeCamp. What would that look like? We had a link to that, right? Actually, do we have a link to that? Let's see what I did here. Yep, good. Twitch TV /freeCodeCamp, which is what we want. All right, and we grabbed that. It was over in our HTML. So if we were to just grab that and append this, here is the Twitch TV.html. So this is what we want if we want each of those links to go to freeCodeCamp, which we don't. But just in case here, I'm just going to use this and change this href here. All right, so there we go. Unfortunately, that's not good enough. All right, because we can't use freeCodeCamp. We want to use the actual name here, which we sliced off of our data 2. Now, you do realize, again, that we can use data 1 and get the actual name. But like I said, I just wanted to use this slice method because I was just doing algorithms with the students here. So I know it's not the smartest way, but why not? And so this just needs to be, so we need to have this here. All right. After we have this, we need to keep this open. We need to escape quotes here. Touchpad. All right. So this quote and this quote are here. All right. And then this quote and that quote are together. And we still have these quotes for this HTTPS, right? So we're just going to add in name. All right. So we're just going to concatenate in this variable. And there we go. All right. There is something else, however. What we also are going to want to do is we're going to want to add in something to click on in this user, okay? So we have this user that we are appending. So again, I'm going to separate this out. And inside of here, I want to add into this string again, concatenate in name. And again, this is the text, all right, in your anchor tag. And this is concatenating this in as a part of the stream. All right. And so just watch the single quote, double quote, greater than single quote. So this can get a little confusing. So just kind of follow along and just kind of add it in where you need it. We should be clear of quotes and escape quotes, so we don't really need that. Don't have to worry about that. All right. If the user is offline, all right, we're still going to list that user in the username here. We're only going to change the status in the game. So what we can do, luckily, is only have to write this once. So remember, if the data stream is null, Control C, we're going to just list their name. However, if the username is on, we're still going to do it. Those of you that are pretty smart can figure out we don't have to put this here. We can actually stick this before the if-else. But just for readability, that's the reason I'm doing it this way, just so I can, use it just so I know what's going on. Not to mention, as you follow along with me, I'm just going to have a scenario for null, meaning not streaming, and a scenario for streaming. And they're going to look the same. And yes, it is redundant. However, we only really need to change the status in the game. But anyway, let's go in here. So that's the user. And I believe the HTML tag for status, if I was smart, should be status. All right, which it is. So it's status and then game. So I need to do some appending here for the status. All right, so jQuery again. So on status, I'm going to append the status. And I'm just going to say online. Actually, this is null, so it's offline. Okay, so I can just append the offline. And let's not forget that since we're going to be appending, we want it to be drop the line down. So remember that we need to put in a break at the end. All right, just like the break here we did with this one. All right, same thing. You need the break. And then, so if that's where it's what we want to do when it's offline, Control C. When we're online, all right, I will change this text to online. All right, the last piece we need here is going to be the game. So I'm going to grab the game. Right, there's our game tag. It would help if I put it in quotes. There we go. And I'm just going to append or add it to the end. And what should I say about the game? Well, the game now is going to be somewhere, right? If this game here, all right, if they're offline, there is no game, right? So this is a pretty simple one. So not available. And again, remember to add in your break so it goes a line down. And like I said, this is not the best way of doing it. And so again, that's if they're offline, the game is not available. What you could do is just put the standard game that they have listed in their description, which would make sense as well, or might even make more sense, but I'm not too concerned about that. So in here now, I'm actually going to concatenate this together with a variable, right? So what's going to go here? Well, I need to look at the data object for data 2. So I'm going to go back to my data 2, go to my console log. All right, and I'm looking for the game. So where is the game listed here? And it's literally just listed as game, okay? But remember, it's under this stream. So it's going to be .stream.game. So what do I have to add here? Remember, this is data2.stream.game. And I'm going to concatenate that with a line break, so that way it hits a carriage return, so I get my next line down. Okay, so let's take a look at what we have here. See if this is what we want. 1, 2 users that have errors. Ooh, someone's playing Farming Simulator. And these are all offline. All right, and notice I still have these nulls here from. Where's my nulls? From the user. All right, so the user here still says null. So I got to get rid of that as well. All right, so copied in the null. Trying to save time because I keep running out of time, and I copied something that I didn't want to, and there we go. freeCodeCamp is offline, noobs, and there all of my links work, and they're good to go. And look, the ones that are online gives them the game. All right, well, since we know how to do this now, why don't we do something similar? So instead of giving ourselves an alert, all right, under our error handling, we know that their stream is just not live, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take their the same thing like the offline here. I'm going to Control C. Again, this code is redundant. All right, there's a better way to do this. So if you're reusing code over again, you can set that equal to a variable. All right, so just something to think about. Don't write the same code over and over again, or even copy and paste it. All right, it's not an efficient way of doing it. I'm just showing you the function, so that way you can shorten this up later. Okay, so here we go. Something happened here. See how name changed? Well, name is no longer in this scope because name was a variable inside of this get JSON, which is inside of the success of this Ajax. And this is in the error of that. So it's no longer in scope, so name is not going to work. All right. However, that doesn't matter. Under user, all right, all right, so the user that we're using to get the username, remember, we are in so streams sub I, okay? So we're going to get a stream I. So hopefully we should just be able to streams I plus, right? So that's the name. And instead of offline, I can say something like not found. Okay. Let's save that. Let's take a look at what that looks like. Oh, look. Unidentified, not found, NA. Unidentified, not found, NA. Okay, so if you're looking for something for a user that they can't find, all right, it will be not found. And that seems to work. Let's run this again. All right, there we go. Okay, so there we go. So hopefully that was good for you. It's not letting us actually access the stream sub I. So it's outside of scope. About this invalid user. There we go. And we can see who's doing what where, and we can click on everybody. Cool. And if you want, you can add anchor tags to the StarCraft farming simulator if it's active. But outside of that, that's pretty much our API finished. And again, we handled the error with the alert, which is fine. But here is a more visual way of doing it. Other ways to improve this, obviously, there's a bunch. But all we're doing is simply appending this one column. So take a look at some other ways of laying this out. I also showed you, I believe, where to find the images as well. Okay, so the images you can find up here in under the channels. Okay, and that is going to be I think it's, so in this case, be data1.logo, I believe. All right, so we're console logging data2, and we'll take out clear my console. And I'll show you where that's at real quick. Clear this out, save, run. And there is something called logo. So this is data one. So you could say data1.logo and you can have a link to that logo. All right. And that link is the image itself. So you can actually embed that image. So that's where that's at. And you can embed that right there as well. All right. So hopefully that should be enough information. But this right here fulfills what you need for the freeCodeCamp challenge, although it's pretty bland. Hopefully you can come up with something better. So again, hopefully this was helpful for you. And then I guess I'll see you on the next project. All right.